This video is an extension of same old, Matthew 5:32, saving for the cause of fornication, specifically studying fornication, porneia. I've pulled up the familiar Bible Hub, porneia, fornication, word study. I want to clarify that on my last video, addressing Matthew 15:19, was on the subject of fornication and commandments, but really it included the word adultery, and this is the word adultery. I'm going to move on to the adultery as it pertains to Matthew 5:32. Here, adultery is expressed in twice, once at the bottom here and once up here. All of the verses that address adultery in relation to marriage, divorce, and remarriage is right here, except one, and that's right there. So I'm going to go to the major one. Here are the various verses that are addressed by way of this word variation. Clarify what this means here. To have unlawful intercourse with another's wife, to commit adultery with. To clarify what this means, the intercourse is not sexual intercourse. The fastest way to clarify that is by way of Thayer bundles an Old Testament adultery with the New Testament here. So the one he chose for one is Jeremiah 3:8. And as you recall, Jeremiah 3:8 was under what causes God was threatening to divorce Israel. I never clarified last time, but really he never did divorce Israel. Yet Israel has two contexts: Israel historically and Israel in the generations that came after. And in the generations that came after, he did divorce Israel, but one of the tribes of Israel was Judah. They had 12 tribes, and one of them was Judah. And he didn't divorce Judah, even though Judah was playing the harlot even worse than Israel was. The adultery is right here, and I'll click onto it. Here is a adultery as it pertains to the Ten Commandments, right here. Exodus 20:14 and Deuteronomy 5:17 are the Ten Commandments. But really it's the verse, adultery, thou shalt not commit adultery. So we're addressing the commandments in the literal sense. And as long as I'm here, the Old Testament has, and the New Testament, as will be shown, but the Old Testament here has a clarification that adultery is idolatrous worship, which is, in the figurative sense, the same as idolatry, basically. Same as fornication. So while trying to discern um, what is being said about sex versus no sex on intercourse, over here it clarifies that the commandment of adultery is addressing a person that breaks wedlock. Um, Wedlock is marriage, and to break marriage is divorce. Um, you can say, yeah, but um, she burned my supper, and that's my excuse for divorce. Really, is take marriage apart is adultery. Um, there is a figurative hypostasize, and that's again dealing likened unto idolatry. Um, and generally, it's to adulterate. Here is the other adultery, um, and it uses the very same language, um, unlawful intercourse with another's wife. Um, here, Matthew 5:32, the first adultery of Matthew 5:32, it's mentioned twice, but the first is under the context of to cause your wife to stumble by way of tempting her after you divorce her. She entered into marriage wanting to live a life of oneness with somebody to love. And when you take it away, you tempt her into wanting to go remarry somebody else, um, and and that is to suffer adultery. The suffrage that comes by way of not having what God blessed in the first place. Uh, this word here is by way of Collins Dictionary, debased, and debased is to adulterate. To adulterate marriage with becoming so tempted that you go ahead and remarry. And that would be the alternate from suffering from adultery is to adulterate. Further clarification to not sexual is Matthew 5:28, which is looking lustfully at another man's wife, and to be in pursuit of another man's wife to such a degree that it's considered adultery in your heart. Um, it's the pursuit of another man's wife. It's not to lust after, because you can lust after your fiance, and that's not a sin. You can because it's to want and not have. You haven't yet married, so but you want. Uh, that's not a sin. The sin is that you're in pursuit of somebody that's already married, and in fact they can be divorced, and it's the divorce that still she is somebody else's wife. She did wrong by divorce, and still she's somebody else's wife, and you can be in pursuit, and that's what this means, which is to say that that to lust is and to look and to want and to be in hot pursuit still is not sexual intercourse. It's on a continuum, but it's not sexual. Hence, unlawful intercourse, not unlawful sexual intercourse.